I'm Jared Lintner, Tackle Warehouse Pro, and you know, I know there's a bunch of team tournaments coming up here at a couple of our local lakes. There's a new circuit, that BBT. We're going to be fishing Lake Santa Margarita and Lake Nacimiento. Both are really good lakes, but they couldn't be more opposite. Nacimiento is primarily a spotted bass lake. Catch a lot of numbers there. Wintertime, you know, you're going to be fishing out a little deeper, drop shots, jigs, that type of deal. You know, then it gets really good. You know, pre-spawn, spawn, they'll smoke a jerk bait, small swim baits. There is some really good largemouth in there too. It's just really hard to kind of just target those fish because there's not that many of them. You know, it's predominantly spotted bass, but it's a really fun lake to fish. You know, wintertime, say you're fishing there in January, early February, you're going to be wanting to concentrate more on main body points, things like that. Creek channel swings, you know, it's got a really nice river, has some bluff walls, excellent for, you know, drop shot and jigs, even crankbaits. You know, and then as you move on, you know, they'll start biting jerk baits. The topwater bite there is phenomenal. You can have a lot of fun catching numbers of fish as well as some quality fish. You know, I know a lot of guys in the springtime on, they do nothing but, you know, Senkos, wacky rig, Texas rig. I mean, they just catch, you know, they run out of baits to throw there. So look forward to a lot of fun there. You know, as it moves into summer, like I said, the topwater's the deal. Once they start schooling on bait, they're going to get offshore. They're going to get out in the main creek channel bends. I mean, even as far as out dead middle of the lake, you'll see them blowing up, chasing bait. That's where I would have that finesse A rig, if you have one. You know, like I said, it's not proven there, so it'd be a bait I'd be throwing there for sure, you know, to see if they'll bite it. But if they're not, if they won't bite that, you know, your standard little popping type baits like a Jackal SK pop, that works really good. I've caught numbers of fish there. The TN70 on those schooling fish up there can be deadly. So it's just a really fun lake to fish. Got a lot of variety, a lot of rocks, some wood, kind of depends on the lake level. But you're looking at, if you have 10 pounds or more, you're going to be in the top 3 to 5, depending on, you know, what time of year it is. You catch 14, 15 pounds there, you're going to win. So you catch a 4 to 5, 6 pound fish to go with even little rats, you better not break down. You better just make your way to the weigh-in because you're going to win. But it's a fun lake to fish. I take my kids up there. They have a ball, you know, drop shotting worms and catching fish. The Santa Margarita, there's no spotted bass. Well, I hear there's a few. I've never caught one here. But it is strictly, you know, big fish. I mean, there's every year for, I think, 5 years in a row now, the lake records got broke. I think it's up to 16 and a half now. Several guys, several of my buddies this year, all the way through the fall, have reported catching 11 to 13 pounders. So there's some big ones in here. You know, an average fish for this lake is a 3.5 to 4 pounder. I mean, that's average. You don't catch a whole lot of like fish under 2 pounds. And again, you can fish this lake a variety of different ways. You know, anything from, I know guys that have caught big ones and drop shotting. Margarita Mutilator is deadly up here, as well as Aaron's Magic. If the water kind of dirty, you know, early in the spring we have some rain, that bold bluegill color robo-worm, I mean, the guys catch them one after another on them. You know, wintertime here, it's going to be tough. It's going to be slow. You're going to have to drag jigs. You're going to have to drop shot. You know, you're not going to get a whole lot of bites, but generally speaking, the bites you do get are going to be quality fish. I mean, you're going to be, you'll think you're at like a little mini Clear Lake. I mean, they're 3 to 6 pounders on average. So not a lot of bites early, you know, in the wintertime. As you move into the spring, that's when it gets good. You're going to be catching them on, you know, jerk baits. It's a phenomenal jerk bait lake. I've caught some good ones here on flukes, swim baits. like that prime target makes a shaky fin. I've had some 30-pound plus days on that. You know, just throwing it Texas rig, weedless, just covering water, looking for those pre-spawn staging areas and hammering on them. You know, when they get on the beds, I don't know when exactly the dates are for the tournament, but when they get on the beds, the fishing does kind of slow down if you're not sight fishing. A lot of these bigger fish have kind of gotten used to wanting to spawn out deeper just because of the pressure. They've been caught a few times. They don't, you know, they're not going to just sit there on the bank and watch you catch them. So you're going to want to, you know, throw like a Senko type bait or a drop shot in those spawning areas, but kind of stay off of them and, you know, kind of hope for the best. I mean, if you're not sight fishing, like I said, it's going to be a tough event. First thing in the morning is usually your best bet for like a, you know, a Huddleston or that prime target or, you know, a mighty minnow or something like that. And then after that, you know, you slow down, fish thoroughly. I wouldn't be fishing deeper than, you know, 15, 20 feet in this lake once they get on the beds, just because it seems like they make a mad rush. I mean, the majority of the fish are going to be in the spawning areas. And then as you move on to summer, this can be a really, really, really phenomenal topwater lake. You know, frogs, horny toads, rivets, that kind of deal, buzzbait, Zara spook, Ricos or Jackal SKs. There's all kinds of, I mean, this is an awesome topwater lake, especially if you have some clearer water post-spawn. You're going to have a lot of fun. And there's a bunch of grass gets grown in here, so there goes the frog deal. You can punch some in here. You can fish the grass lines with swim baits, you know, spinner bait if the water color is still pretty nice. And then, you know, as you move on into fall, you're going to be, I know a lot of guys, me included, catch them on a big plug like a DD22 or a 6XD, something like that. To get it down, these fish will migrate, you know, follow the balls of bait out of the spawning areas, out of the major creeks, and, you know, you catch them like that. And then the kind of when it starts getting a little cooler, that's when the drop shot and your jig bite starts picking back up. And from about into September through December is when you're going to catch your biggest bass out of this lake. I mean, the lake record gets broke usually October, November, first couple months. So if you guys are fishing here then, you better hang on. So that, I mean, that's just a couple little things, you know. There's really, these lakes aren't that big. Nacimiento is probably twice as big as Santa Margarita. But you know, when there's water in Santa Margarita, there's a lot of different variety of structures to fish. You know, you got rock bluffs, you got grass flats, you got the river where it has stick ups, you got some main body laydowns, you got rock piles actually that come out into the lake, humps. So I mean, there's a variety of things to fish, as well as Nacimiento. I mean, you got the same thing. You don't have the grass at Nacimiento, so don't even bother looking for it. You're never going to find it. And if you do, you better call me. Other than that, I mean, you know, you couldn't pick a couple of better lakes to kind of fish, especially for team events. You guys are going to catch fish. You're going to have a lot of fun, and you know, you'll have some good events. Santa Margarita, from basically February on, you better be looking to catch anywhere from 22 to 28 pounds. You know, if you have 25, you might be right there to win. You know, 22 to 25, you could possibly win. I've seen it up to 35 pounds to win tournaments up here. You know, there's just a lot of good fish in Santa Margarita, so I'm kind of jealous I don't get to fish. I'll be back east, but good luck, have fun, experiment. Hope these little tips helped you, and tear them up.